Phantom Thread, sorry. Daniel Day-Lewis is a thespian. Go watch The Quiet Place. It has monsters. It's fascinating. Chris Broussard's going to be joining me in a couple of minutes. Pro customers at Lowe's save 5% in every purchase every day when you use your Lowe's business credit account, subject to credit approval. U.S. only. Lowe's. I go there. You should, too. You know, you fans crack me up. I just went to Twitter for 5 minutes and wanted to knock myself out. You're such a bandwagon guy. Not a bandwagon. For the next 12 years, Ben Simmons is going to be amazing. I didn't jump on Giannis's bandwagon. I didn't jump on John Wall's bandwagon. I didn't jump on Blake Griffin's bandwagon. I didn't jump on Carmelo's bandwagon. I didn't jump on Derrick Rose's bandwagon. I'm not one of these guys that loves every new player. Ben Simmons is better than all of them. He's going to change the league. He is going to be LeBron when LeBron goes west or LeBron retires. This kid's going to be the nightmare for everybody. He's going to go into series and have not as many good players around him and win a series like LeBron. Listen, Metta World Peace played in this league for 14 years. He was a great defensive player. At one point, he was an emerging offensive player. Here's what he said about Ben Simmons.
I love the fact that he can move fast. He can think while he's moving. He can think while being fatigued. He controls the game. He makes the easy pass and the great pass. Great momentum. He's so good. Very, very strong. And that's a difference between him and a lot of other young players. Him and LeBron. He reminds me a lot of LeBron more than Magic. I mean, one, because I came up watching LeBron more than Magic, but then two, the stuff that he's doing at an early age, and maybe a little bit of Magic, because Magic won a ring at his rookie year, right? So, yeah, maybe a little bit of LeBron and Magic.
Yeah, listen, this is not – I'm not a bandwagon guy. Goulet, how long have you worked with me in this radio business, TV business? How long have you –
Total of probably like 6, 7 years,
6, 7
like that.
Beautiful years.
Yes.
It's just harmony, okay? And Tui's just been a couple.
Yeah.
By and large, I'm the wet blanket. I'm the one that says slow down, take a deep breath, don't freak out over an upset in a playoff game. I'm the one that said Derrick Rose is an MVP. I'm the one that said – Michael Jordan should win it every year. I'm the guy that said slow down on Johnny Manziel. I'm the guy that says slow down. I'm not the hype master. I'm the guy that talks about the great ones over and over and over and over. Tom Brady, over and over. LeBron, over and over. You can criticize me for that. I don't jump on bandwagons. I've never bought into this Giannis thing. Yeah, he's going to average 30 a game. He's not going to change the league. I never bought into Blake and Carmelo and Derrick Rose and John Wall. I mean, Anthony Davis, a great player. It's not going to change the league. He just won his first playoff game 6 years in. Ben Simmons, first year playing in the NBA, I think he's going to do a Magic. I think he has a real chance to get to the conference finals. Now, Magic inherited Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Maybe you've heard of him. And Joel Embiid's good. He's not Kareem. But I don't jump on bandwagons. I find people I like, and I support them, and I don't support all the stars. I think, I was the first guy that came out and said about Aaron Rodgers, yeah, he's a great talent. I don't think he's the best leader. I think he's hard to get along with. I think he can be aloof and condescending and too cool for the room. And then I'm like 5 years later, everybody that covered him's like, yeah, he's elite, kind of condescending, and not everybody gets along with him. Finally, people started saying it. So I'm not jumping on any bandwagon. But I'll tell you this, when I saw Tiger play, I saw him play live when he was like 15 at a junior, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's different. And I talked about Tiger for a decade. Like, I think one of the great things, like Sam Darnold, I'm not jumping on or off anything. I told you 2 years ago, I'm like, USC's got a kid that's going to be the number one pick in the draft, and he's going to walk into this league, and he's going to be Andrew Luck. If he can stay healthy, he's going to win his division like 10 or 15 years. But I'm not a jump on a bandwagon guy. I've never, I've never been a huge Kevin Durant guy. I've never been a huge Westbrook guy. I'm a huge LeBron guy. And I would say in the last 10 years, I don't think I've been as excited about any player in this league outside of LeBron as Ben Simmons. Here's veteran French newsman John Goulet.
No.
Turn on the news.
This is the Herdline News.
So the 76ers beat the Miami Heat on Saturday, basically behind Ben Simmons, as you just mentioned.
He was ridiculously good.
Some good news, Joel Embiid has cleared concussion protocol for his broken face.
Yeah.
But he is not playing in today's Game 2.
Yeah.
Sixers head coach Brett Brown hasn't really set a return date for Embiid, but I would think, especially if you win tonight, I don't know what the rush would be. Why not just
rest him.
Right, why not just wait, or maybe wait until you're tied or down in the series?
Listen, if you broke your face, I would just use Tui if we had good shows. Now, if the show's imploded, I'd bring you back with your broken face.
I can do the news with that mask on,
Yeah.
you know. So how far? What's the ceiling for the Sixers if they can? They're playing like this. They don't even have Embiid, who's arguably their best player.
You know, they're a different team. The team that started the year couldn't shoot threes like this team, and young teams tend to they make jumps. And also, let's just be honest, the East isn't very good. I mean, Miami doesn't have a lot of talent.
They could end up playing the Celtics in the second round.
Boston doesn't have their two best stars. Miami didn't have any players. If Miami had Dion Waiters, this is a real series. But you can see so many times in that game, Miami just needed a guy offensively. They needed a bucket offensively. They
don't have a go-to.
They don't have a go-to guy. They're like Toronto. Toronto's got great depth. I don't buy Toronto. God, they sit there and they depth you to death. That's just not going to win championships.
So Des Bryant reportedly has a desire to face the Cowboys twice a year after he was released. That would mean he'd have 3 teams he could sign with, the Redskins, Eagles, and Giants. And according to a report in the USA Today, Redskins have said they don't have any interest in him.
Yeah.
That would be the likely destination because the Redskins do have a history of signing over-the-hill veterans to bad contracts.
Yeah.
But they apparently are not interested. So that leaves the Giants and the Eagles.
Giants don't. No.
I can't imagine putting him with OBJ.
No.
And the Eagles don't need him, so I don't know if that's going to work out.
Yeah.
Now, Dez said the money wasn't a big concern, so he apparently is just motivated solely on revenge. Is that kind of let's say there's no NFC East team for him? Is that kind of a negative when you're thinking about signing the guy, that his number one motivation might be revenge? Shouldn't it be like, I want to win a Super Bowl?
First of all, if Dez had his act together, he'd be incredibly valuable because it's a terrible wide receiver draft.
Yeah.
I talked to an NFL general manager, and this has been in the last week, and he's like, the best receiver's Calvin Ridley at Alabama, and he's small. He's not Julio Jones. The second best is Christian Kirk, who, thank God, he's a great return guy because he's not really a natural, elegant wide receiver. He has worked very hard, and he's a tremendous return guy. But, I mean, this is a bad wide receiver draft. If Dez was in the best shape of his life, had taken up coaching and taken it seriously 5 years ago, he would be – I mean, look at Brandon Cooks is bouncing around this league because people are just – he's kind of a one-trick, run-deep route only wide receiver. There's a need. Look what Sammy Watkins just made. Buffalo gave up. Rams gave up. I mean, if Dez had it together, there'd be a bidding war for him.
If you're Dez, I would just – whoever's the best quarterback I can play with. Doesn't that just – you've made a ton of money.
Yes.
Just go get the best guy that's going to make you look good.
Baltimore continues to be the team to me that seems to need – they're
reportedly interested.
Yeah.
If you really want to stick it to the Cowboys, you don't have to do it against them. By just being great, that would stick it to the Cowboys for cutting you. And finally, this is by far my favorite story of the day. Mark Sanchez has been suspended 4 games by the NFL for the violation of the league's substance abuse policy. He apparently tested positive for PEDs. Sanchez is denying taking PEDs, said it's a failed drug test. He's blaming it on tainted supplements he was taking. Here's my question. Steroids are supposed to make you better at sports, right?
Now, come on.
Like, whatever he took, he needs to release that so that everyone else can never take that again.
Come on.
I mean, what could he have possibly taken, and he's not on a team right now.
Yeah.
So what is he doing?
I don't know. I don't want to take any cheap shots. My feeling is he has the strangest career of all time.
Yes.
He has had like 7 weird stories. Even before he got drafted, he was on GQ magazine, and everybody's like, that's not a great call, walking into a locker room off GQ magazine. Sometimes I would say, I don't know him personally. Some of his judgment hasn't been great. I would just say that. He's done things I don't. You can't have this many weird things happen to you in your career and not be at some point a judgment thing or something.
I don't always buy the tainted meat or tainted supplement. If there's anyone that could really make the argument, it would probably be him. Because I don't know what he would be taking that clearly isn't working. So maybe it really is just like a bad hammer.
He's just had a weird career. Veteran newsman John Goulet.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd
Car
Line
shopping's
News.
confusing. Dealer price, list price, invoice. True Car shows you what other people paid the car you want. New or used. $3,000 off MSRP on average. Former New York Times writer. He's got his podcast, In the Zone. His name is Chris Broussard. New radio show, Odd Couple, with Rob Parker. Fox Sports Radio, iHeartRadio. I got to be honest with you. I did pick the Thunder to beat the Jazz in 7. I think it's a long series because I love Quinn Snyder. Talent-wise, I like OKC. I'll tell you this, though. Paul George was good in the 9 minutes Westbrook wasn't on the floor. Did you notice that?
He wasn't good in the 24 minutes he played with Westbrook?
He was good. He was exceptional. How about Victor Oladipo? Oh, my God, he's become remarkable.
All right, let me set the record straight.
Let's set the record straight.
Your point is that they were great without Russell Westbrook.
No, my point is this. Why am I the only person that will acknowledge, along with his dynamic greatness, which I've never disputed, guys, this weekend, 4 guys that left and went 4-0 and were arguably the best player in every game. I mean, come on now.
Well, hold up. Paul George
Was great.
scored 24 points
Yeah.
in 28 minutes with Westbrook on the floor.
And 16-9 without him.
Okay, but he was on the court plenty of times this year without Westbrook, and he didn't do that. So I can't look. We saw Paul George by himself last year. And what'd he do? He got swept in the first round.
Well, who beat him?
We saw him the year before. What'd he do? He got beat in the first round in the East. So come on. Oladipo is great, no doubt. But Westbrook and George, they're actually hitting their stride.
Well, they were very good in the last 6 games.
Yes, and look, I think they are dangerous in the second round against Houston. You saw Houston, and look, I'm a big CP3 fan, but these playoff foibles of his are really getting to be scary.
By the way, you watched that game yesterday. Let's talk Houston. We haven't talked a ton of them today. I mean, Harden's impossible to guard. So as long as they're going to let him do that step-back travel thing. And by the way, they let Magic Johnson palm the ball, and they let Michael Jordan travel his whole career. So Harden's got to step back. Everybody's ticked off. It's traveling. Give me a break. Magic, I love Magic. Magic palmed the ball his whole career. And Michael
Giannis
Jordan
is traveling all the time.
Yeah,
too,
I mean, I know. Listen, the NBA is about stars, not college basketball is about coaches. Call traveling. In the NBA, if it's close, let a guy travel. My point is this, though, is that Mike D'Antoni's style, that game against Minnesota was a go-either-way game with 1:10 left.
Yeah, and I'm going to talk about Chris Paul. He only had 14 points. He was 5 for 14 from the floor, 4 assists. This is one of the greatest point guards we've seen. 4 assists, 6 turnovers. And at the end of the game, you see that this inexplicable full court pass that he throws out of bounds, that could have cost them the game.
Oh, no question. The game was in the balance with 1.5 minutes left.
So look, again, I'm not saying I'm picking against Houston yet. But I am watching closely, and if they don't get it together, particularly Chris, then they could be had by the Thunder. They could be had anyway because the Thunder have talent. You got 2 superstars in their prime, in Melo or in Paul George and in Russell, and then you got Melo who played well yesterday, and Steven Adams and Capella's going to be a great matchup. So your worst nightmare could happen on 2 fronts. One, OKC could maybe get to the conference finals in the West, and Philly could get to the Eastern Conference Finals, and you know what that means?
What?
A full uniform.
Come on.
76ers, and I want the shorts.
I'm not wearing
want the
those.
shorts. I don't want them down to your knees. I want them like, John Stockton type. The type of shorts that Mo Cheeks
let's
wore.
put the brakes on. First of all, let's go back to before the season. I said they don't have enough three-point shooters. Embiid, I don't trust his health. I don't know what's going on with Markelle Fultz. And I love Simmons, but he's a baby. I have since said they added 2-3 shooters at the deadline. Simmons, who I loved, he's like, I'm watching like baby Magic, baby LeBron. Embiid, I still, again, I just worry about, he averaged 30 minutes a game. I want my stars playing 40. But I'm not, you can say what you want about Philadelphia. I am now saying Ben Simmons I mean, nobody predicted Carson Wentz was going to be that good. I'm telling you with Ben Simmons, I am not anti-Philadelphia. There are parts of this team that I still don't trust in huge games. Am I crazy? I feel like I'm watching 60, 70% Magic.
Look, I've said it many times. I think I've said it on this couch. He's the closest thing I've ever seen to Magic Johnson. That includes Penny Hardaway, and it includes LeBron James. Because people are saying he's the next LeBron. He's not. He doesn't score like LeBron.
No.
He's not going to score like LeBron. But I said it on this couch. I remember because I got a lot of flack, not from you, but from others. I said when he wasn't playing, his first year when he wasn't playing, I said he's a better passer than LeBron James. And he is.
Oh, he is.
He is a true point guard, and he's just like Magic. He's not quite. I mean, Magic was so fancy with his passes.
Right.
Nobody's like that. But he is fancy, and he does have dog in him, too.
Oh, no. Listen, Andrew Wiggins is talented. No dog.
No.
This is a thing in the NBA. Some guys just don't. They're not like Kobe Bryant would get into a fight as a 19-year-old.
Yep.
Michael Jordan, day one going up against the Pistons. He'd go in the back alley with you. Ben Simmons is tough.
He's got it.
He's tough.
And one of the examples to me of him having a dog in it was their last game when they beat Cleveland, and LeBron had a great game and Simmons had a great game. He was doing fancy, going between his legs, making all these great passes that he didn't have to do. But for him to do that, to show off against LeBron, I'm not saying he was trying to, go at LeBron individually because I know they're close.
But
the fact that he was willing to do that against LeBron shows me on the court he has no friends.
No friends,
mentors,
no fear.
No friends, no big brothers. I'm coming at you. And look, I still think Cleveland wins the East. Some of it's blind faith in LeBron.
No, I agree with
how
you.
Good he
I
is.
think they're going to win the series and the East.
Yeah, but Philly is, man.
Listen, man, when you turn the television and the Sixers are on, they play with Simmons so fast and are so long and are so aggressive. Just turn the sound down and watch the Sixers. Their length, their tempo. Like they jump.
Even without Embiid,
they're faster without Embiid.
Yeah.
They're faster. You can. I say this all the time with television. Sometimes turn the sound down. Don't let announcers get in your head. Watch sports without the sound. The Sixers are the longest team in the league right now.
Yeah.
When Covington, Embiid, Simmons, Saric are on the floor, they're the longest team in the league. Okay. This weekend, 3 rookies. Let's talk about, listen, we know Mitchell, we know Simmons, and we know Jason Tatum. But I want to segue to a guy that's not a rookie, but guys like Chris Broussard are telling me, going to wreck this league, Giannis. So Giannis has no Kyrie to face, no Gordon Hayward, Marcus Smart. I mean, basically the Celtics are right now as a franchise, we're not winning this thing. If Giannis can't beat that team, come on now.
No, there's some truth to that. At some point, he's going to have to start winning. Okay?
Yeah.
Not that he's not a great individual player. We know Tracy McGrady never won a playoff series. Okay? But Giannis, they should win this series.
Oh, they got better players.
As much respect as I have for Boston, they play so hard. This next man up, Brad Stevens, is a tremendous coach. But Milwaukee has more talent. And not just Giannis is a superstar, but Chris Middleton, Jabari Parker, who I know didn't play great yesterday, but he's got talent. Malcolm Brogdon, like Eric Bledsoe.
These are real NBA players.
Now, a couple things about them. One, Joe Prunty, I'm not going to rip his coaching, but they're not getting the most out of that roster right now.
I don't think that's even disputable.
Right? And number 2, they do have a lot of guys that do the same thing. So that's part of it, too. I think they're too Giannis-centric at times.
Yeah.
So, but to your point, they should win this series. And next year, I think Giannis leaves the honeymoon period. There's a honeymoon period, right, where you just put up numbers, you establish yourself as a superstar. We don't care if you win yet.
Okay.
Next year, and maybe some would say this year, you better start winning something.
They just did a 15-minute fluff piece on 60 Minutes. Can you beat the Celtics without Gordon Hayward, Kyrie Irving, and Marcus Smart? Can you win this series?
I hear you.
Okay. By the way, I'm watching the lack of energy yesterday for the Cavs. What if LeBron sort of checked out? I said 5 months ago, I think it's going to be his lost season. Jordan had one. Brady got hurt.
When was Jordan's?
He got hurt. He's kind of lost it.
Oh,
In the history of
okay.
LeBron's career, in the history of MJ's career, it's the one year we don't talk about. It's a lost season. Andrew Luck last year for the Colts. It's a lost season. Think he's maybe checked out a little bit?
I hope not. I have too much respect for LeBron as a player and person to think he's checked out.
Listen, his stats are still good.
No, I know, but that's not a good look if you check out. Period. Like, okay, you're not going to win the championship, but you got to go out there and fight for it, especially if you're the best player in the world and people fancy you as maybe the GOAT.
But what did you see yesterday?
I saw at the beginning, I think that he was trying to get his teammates involved early.
No question about that.
Because that was a starting lineup, and I think this is a knock against Ty Lue. That was a starting lineup that had not started a game together.
And by the way, Joe Varden was on our show Friday saying, like, LeBron doesn't like to practice anymore. Like, he's been in this league 15 years. He don't want to practice a ton.
I get that, and I think that's fair. I mean, as a 15th year, we know Bill Russell didn't practice a lot. Look, he's not the only one. So I think he's earned that at this point. But I think he was trying to get them involved. They were missing some shots, and next thing you know, they're down huge. Now, he should have taken over, and I think game 2, he needs to come out and set the tone and punch Indiana in the face right away with a huge first quarter. But LeBron, look, I loved what I heard from Victor Oladipo at the end of the game.
What?
We came here to win. We know about LeBron. We know about their team, but we believe we can win. We came here to win. That's the attitude I want from a player, and that's the attitude I think I should get from LeBron James. We can win. He's got to be looking at this, Colin, like Golden State's banged up. Houston, I'm not afraid of them. I'm not afraid of OKC. Kawhi Leonard's not there. He's got to be looking at this like we can win it. I don't care who you play. I played on a bad college basketball team, and I never went out there thinking we couldn't win.
Well, that's why they called you the baby LeBron.
I mean, 10 minutes in, we're down by 20, but I thought at the beginning of the game we could win, and I think the best player in the world thinks that too.
Chris Broussard, good seeing you, bud. Guys, NBA playoffs underway. Baseball season is off and running, and the NFL draft is so close you can smell it. It's the time of the year when it gets warmer over the next month. You want to look good, shed the clothes, you're outdoors more. 3 ways to do it. Make sure you work out a little. Make sure you try to eat right most of the time. And add and take an M Drive every day. The entire M Drive line is built on science, clinically tested, safe, and effective ingredients designed to help you achieve your goals by boosting your natural testosterone levels and increasing your energy. Not only is it easy to find, as it's prominently displayed at Walgreens, Vitamin Shop, GNC, Sprouts, and Duane Reade, not only is it easy to get online, buymdrive.com, code HERD, from workforce to prime to M-Drive Boost and Burn. Multiple types, all built on science. Buymdrive.com, code HERD.